How's it going, apes? This is Monkey Jam, and this is my grotto, aka The Grotto Show. Now, I'm not planning on making a stream here today. I just want to do a quick little video because something has been grinding my gears, I guess you could say. Now, underneath this calm, professional exterior, there lies a very wrathful monkey, man. I'm pretty irritated today, I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's because I've recently bore witness to a video that was actually put out by Destiny, well, Bungo, as I like to call them. They were showcasing their glaive, the new weapon type to arrive at the Witch Queen DLC, coming up on the 22nd. At the same time, I will be streaming the Day 1 DLC drop on the 22nd as soon as the servers actually decide to work. Because as we all know, the servers do love breaking. Man, do they love breaking. Especially on Day 1 drops, but I mean, what can you do? People are happy, ready to actually play a game with some fresh content that may or may not last them a few hours. But anyway, you're not here to, well, basically watch me expand upon that. You want to know why I'm irritated here today. And let me tell you, I'm pretty furious. Now the thing is, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm pretty passionate about my weaponry. As you can see right behind me, my nice little Biden sitting there on my rack of roots, I like me something that's a bit versatile, that can give me some range, some good range, some nice little firepower, and a very decent melee option. So when Destiny 2 was announcing that the glaive will be dropping, I was hyped. So I was watching this little video going over the development process for this weapon, and Joe Blackburn actually decided to say something that, well, yeah. Give me a second. Just check this out. Hold up. We gotta shut down the BG here right quick because I need you guys to actually witness what was been said. Now, once again, this is just them going over what's going on as far as just what's happening in the game, how the glaive actually evolved into the weapon type that they actually wanted to do, a energy weapon that both slashes, pokes, shields, and shoots. It's a very versatile weapon for a player like me, Monkey, that only wants to focus on one weapon that does everything he needs to do and just a little bit more. So trust me, this is a weapon that I'll be playing. But I need you to witness something here. Now then, since we went ahead and brought it up, let's take a watch here. Just watch.
One of the things that I think is so exciting about the glaive is it's the kind of weapon you can only find in a Bungie game.
All right. Now, if you didn't hear it, I want you guys to hear it again. Just one more time. Just one more time. Give me a second here.
Completely unique.
One of the things that I think is so exciting about the glaive is it's the kind of weapon you can only find in a Bungie game.
All right. The glaive is the only type of weapon that you can only find in a Bungie game. Okay. Okay. Let's continue.
Doesn't exist outside of the Destiny universe.
Now I want you guys to hear that again. One more time. Just one more time.
Find in a Bungie game. Doesn't exist outside of the Destiny universe.
Joe Blackburn. You are categorically incorrect, my man. Really, dude? Really, dude. The glaive in your game that is basically a knife on a stick that shoots energy projectiles. You're really trying to tell me, you're really trying to convince me that I can only find this weapon in a Bungie game, that this type of weapon exists only in the Destiny universe? Prepare to be corrected, my man. Now, once again, I am a huge absolutely huge weapon nerd, and my preferred weapon of choice is the category of spear gun, which is essentially what the glaive is. It combines two of humanity's best weapons together, ironically enough, making a rather inefficient weapon when you actually think about it, but I prefer not to think about it because since I've actually used it, it is actually one of the most effective things you can actually use. I've used actually way too many times, and that saddens me as an English major. But anyway, the glaive in Destiny 2 is basically a spear gun. A spear gun does exactly as the name implies. It is a spear that also shoots. Now the thing is, examples of the spear gun actually exist outside of the Destiny universe. I know, it's amazing. This concept is actually something that was thought of before you guys actually got your hands onto it. Even before you guys were thinking about it, it was still a thing, alright? How do I know? Oh, watch this, people. Now, we're going to go down through the list of spear guns that actually exist. And let me turn on my BG. Alright, let's turn this on. Alright, let's chill out here for just a second. Alright, so I'm going to show you a variety of spear guns that existed, like years existed, before Bungie actually thought that it was a good idea. Now we're going to start with something a bit recent. Now they said that this is a weapon type that can only be found in a Bungie game. That is incorrect. Now, watch this. Let me bring this up here. Give me a few seconds. Awesome. Here we go. There we go. Now then, this fantastic piece of weaponry is called the Javelok. It's from a game called Warframe. You know, the game that used to actually compete against Destiny 2 and then got completely wiped out, as everyone who actually plays Warframe actually predicted. Yes, this was a predictable outcome when it comes to the, I should say, player race or player retention race between Warframe and Destiny 1. However, when it comes to weapon concepts and weapon types, Warframe has them beat entirely. How do I know? This happened. Now, the Javelok is actually the first spear gun that actually popped up as far as in Warframe. It introduced a whole new weapon type and weapon mechanic in the game. You can shoot and you can throw the thing, you know, it being an actual spear. Now, you can say that, well, since you're throwing it, it's more like a javelin, but, you know, it already has jav in there, so, I mean, it willfully knows that it's part javelin, part spear, part, well, isn't a javelin just a spear you throw? You know, questions that need to be answered. But anyway, the Javelok is a Grineer spear gun that fires literally balls of fire. Literally, the canisters contain 6 shots of heavy slugs that, when fired, convert into a massive fireball that shoots forward, dealing massive fire damage and, if you spec it right, explosive damage as well. Speaking of explosive damage, when this weapon is thrown, that's right, you can hurl this thing. When you throw it at a group of enemies, as soon as it makes contact with any sort of surface, it emits a astounding explosion. It's quite moistening. It's pretty great. So, and after you throw it, you actually have a few options as far as retrieval. You can either run and catch the spear itself, or you can actually go about your business and using the power of space magic. That's right, space magic. The Javelok will actually just teleport back into your arsenal for you to fire, reload, fire, and throw again. It's a very good weapon. Clunky when it first came out, but then with the influx of Rivens, a Warframe basically mechanic to make any sort of weapon, even bad weapons, hyper powerful. Man, this thing is fun, and I love using it in Warframe. Now, that's just one of the oldest examples that I know of a spear gun being in any sort of video game. So that's already strike one for Bungie. But since I am a very petty individual, I decided to go in just a bit deeper, probably more deeper than what's justified, but I just need to drive my point home. This is the Ferox, the second spear gun to come right after the Javelok. Same game, Warframe. Now, imagine the BFG, and you shoved a pole at the end of it, moved the trigger back, and then fired. That's what the Ferox is. It's basically a heavy cannon on a stick. It fires highly compressed, very volatile energy beams, and you want to see a slug, man. If there was a energy or laser equivalent of a slug, man, this thing has it, because it fires and its recoil is shoulder shattering. All right. But the thing is, the massive amount of damage that's granted from this type of weapon cannot be matched. All right. And when thrown, the Ferox actually does something interesting. You hunters out there playing Destiny 2, you guys might actually like this. When thrown, and if it's in a group of enemies and it makes contact with any sort of surface, it will tether enemies magnetically to it, literally dragging enemies to the spot that it landed, leaving you able to go ahead and either pop off all of their heads with a single shot, throw cannons at it, throw grenades at it, do whatever you need to do. It is literally a tether on a stick with a BFG for freaking ammo. It's pretty nice. I use it myself when I'm actually tired of dealing with bosses that just don't want to immediately die, because I play Warframe and everything needs to die instantly because I don't have time for challenge. Alright, any Warframe player knows this, we all accept it. But that's the second spear gun to come out right after the Javelok, and both of them existed in peace for a good amount of years. I want to say probably about a solid year, maybe even 2 years before the third spear gun entered the fray, Warframe as well. Now this is the Scourge, more accurately if you want to get down to it, and sorry for the low res, but I can't be bothered to actually go in game and snap screenshots of this. What am I, a professional? No. So this is the freaking Scourge, alright, or more specifically the Scourge Prime that recently came out. Warframe, same game, alright. This weapon fires discs, alright, like Bionicles. Yeah, those discs. Bionicle fans already know. But it fires energy discs that when it makes contact with any sort of enemy or surface, it bursts open with a elemental effect. I do believe this one is toxic. So it basically fires toxic energy discs. It's pretty sweet. I love it. But it gets even better. If you spec it the right way, it can fire a variety of energy discs. Explosions, toxic, fire, ice, magnetic energy, lightning, you name it, it fires it, including gas. That's right, gas. The Javelok does it as well, but this one tends to do it just a little bit better. And when thrown, whenever this spear gun lands into a particular surface, especially if it's within a mass of enemies, every projectile that you shoot from your secondary weapon will automatically be drawn. That's right. The projectiles will be drawn and aimed right at the enemy's heads. You can farm headshots whenever you throw this thing into a mass of enemies. All you gotta do is spray and pray, and it will literally aimbot the projectiles into your enemies' faces. So if you have any abilities that require headshots in order for it to work, this is the weapon for you. This is the third spear gun to exist before Destiny was a tickle in somebody's balls. Alright? Well, not Destiny, but just the concept of the glaive that's entering in Destiny 2. So I just wanted to point that out. Now, that's to refute one half of that. This is the only type of weapon to exist in a Bungie game. Wrong. It exists in another game. I'm pretty sure it exists in a wealth of games, even outside of Warframe. This is just a more easily available reference that I can get to that was actually legitimately old. But once again, I like driving the point home. So we're going to attack the second part of that statement. This is the only weapon to exist in the Destiny universe. You are wrong. Let me explain. Now this is the Metok staff weapon for the Goa'uld in Stargate SG-1. Stargate SG-1 was a TV series to be spawned out of the Stargate movie. It's actually a very good piece of sci-fi viewing, I should say. If you ever have an itch for a sci-fi series that actually has more than 3 seasons and actually has evolving plot, interesting characters, interesting concepts, and well, just does interesting things in general and is liable to hold your attention, and you need something that can fill in the void that was Star Trek, this is the show for you. I would highly suggest watching it. I do believe it's on Netflix, but this weapon is technically a spear gun. That bulbous end at the top that kind of looks like a seed, it actually splits open into 4 segmented parts with a central, I should say, nozzle at the, with a central nozzle, in between the cross sections. This nozzle gets energized and it shoots out a highly compressed beam, usually in the yellow color. It's very destructive. Anyone who could properly use it can actually just fire things, and this is one that you don't throw. It can actually be utilized as a melee weapon. Now the thing is, I will give Joe Blackburn this. When it comes to the spear guns that I've introduced before, you can't really use a melee option for those. The concept still exists, but you can't really whack people with it. This existed before the Javlock, and you could whack people with it. Throw it? No. Why would you throw it? You already have something that it throws. It throws hot, blazing plasma. Alright? That's all that it does. But just in case if you run out of ammo, you can just whack them. Do a nice little staff twirl. I know Boba Fett likes that. He's been doing that very recently as of late. But yes, this doubles as basically a bow staff until you can retrieve yourself some ammo. I do believe the ammo economy for this weapon is that it actually recharges. I don't know if it's solar or anything of that sort, but it's practically a near infinite energy source for ammo. It just needs to recharge. So while it's recharging, you can use it as a bow staff, cleave your way through enemies, and then when it gives you the nice notification that death and murder has been fully reloaded, you can open up the bulbous part at the top and start firing. It's very moistening. Alright. Now the thing is, I do believe that should be enough proof for it, but once again, I like to go into these things. So let me go ahead and actually introduce you to my freaking Bident. Alright. I never actually properly explained what this thing does, so I mean, it'll give you some nice little reference points. Now when it comes to my Bident, it basically does what all these other spear guns do as well. Shoots highly compressed energy, usually in a green color. Doesn't do much except burn holes within people. I do believe the gem in the middle of it actually is of magical origin, not spiritual, magical. Because whenever I try to fight spirits, they can kind of shrug off the energy beams. Now the cool thing about this little Bident here is that I can actually summon energy copies of it. That's right, I can have infinite Bident works, I should say. I can summon a lot of these, and each one of these phantom Bidents can actually shoot compressed energy. That's right, I can have the central main one, use it as a melee weapon, summon the phantoms, and have them shoot while I'm whacking people with the sharp end. It's very fun, and I like using it. It was my main tool of conquest before I landed up in this world, and it became a decoration. Sometimes I go outside and practice with it, but it's good. And when I throw the thing, it actually coats itself in, well, the green energy, and it basically performs as a tracking nuke, I should say. First, I shoot you, that basically targets you, then I throw it. No matter where you run, it will find you, it will detonate, and then it will spawn back to me, since it's bonded to me. Well, since I made it, you know. So, all of that is to say, and oh my gosh, this is actually a 20-minute video of me ranting about spear guns. I am angry. I cannot believe I spent 20 minutes talking about this. I am so sorry for have wasted your time. You know what? No, I'm not going to explain myself. You know what? I'll retract that apology. I am not sorry that I wasted 20 minutes of your time complaining about spear guns, alright? This is what you deserve. This is what you get for listening to me. But until then, until I come back, take it easy, have fun, keep some music in your heart, keep on jamming, monkey out, baby. Golly, I cannot believe 20 minutes? I spent 20 minutes. Yo, Slime, I spent 20 minutes. I spent 20 minutes talking about this. I cannot believe it. I seriously cannot believe it, dude. It's absolutely terrible. Now, where's the booze at?